On this edition of Around BCC, it's the second year of BCC's eHealth program. We get an update. We profile new members of BCC's student government, and we look at a faculty member whose focus is on a sustainable environment. Welcome to Around BCC. I'm Keith Tebow. We are in the final stretches of the 2012 fall semester at Bristol Community College, and that means we can actually start looking ahead, believe it or not, to the spring 2013 schedule at all BCC campuses. One of the great innovations that BCC has been able to employ in the past 2 years is its brand new eHealth program. We've spotlighted it many times here on the show, but we thought we'd get an update on this month's program. I'm pleased to be joined this month by Carven. She's the director of the eHealth program here in New Bedford, and also by Sherry Caton. She is a student in the General Studies Health Science and hopefully soon nursing, right, Sherry? Yep. So thank you both for joining us. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Karen, second full academic year here at eHealth. It just seemed like yesterday that we were doing the ribbon cutting for where we are. In this room, actually, is where it happened. Talk a little bit about the growth and how popular it has become here in New Bedford.
It's been tremendously popular. We have grown in numbers and in reputation, which has been great, and also in programs. We continue to add new programs as we see the need, and those needs are determined by things, relationships with like South Coast Hospital and other people in healthcare fields. So they're genuine needs that are out there, and then we also know the needs of our students who need training so that and education so they can work in healthcare fields.
It was touted as a public-private partnership, which it still is.
Yes, it is.
But it's more than that now. Now it's another part of BCC, and I think that's important. There was a time at the beginning where people thought that eHealth was separate from Bristol Community College. We're all Bristol Community College, and that's important because of the opportunities that it provides students.
Absolutely, and we've even gone so far as to open up our classes so that even non-eHealth students can take some of the classes and they can see some of the facilities we have, and then some do make a transition to be in an eHealth course or not. And we've even making some strides now to blend the two buildings on the New Bedford campus as well. So there's been a lot of blending, and I think that's been helpful to make us part of BCC.
There are 3 degree programs currently
Yes.
being offered here as part of the eHealth program. The General Studies Health Sciences, which Sherry is sort of involved with right now, and Occupational Therapy Assistant, which was here from the beginning. But obviously the big news this year was the growth in the nursing program. And we've got some footage of the facility upstairs. The ribbon cutting was actually early December.
Yes.
As we tape this, we hope it was early December. And talk about how the nursing program is going to be a big impact for not only BCC, but again, for the needs of the healthcare community here locally.
Well, there's been a tremendous amount of excitement. Since we've come, people have said, so is nursing coming? You know, BCC has a tremendous reputation with their nursing program, and that precedes most of the things we've done, and it has given a lot of credibility to some of our other programs as well. But to finally have nursing here is just wonderful, and I've been part of the construction process, and it has been tremendous. Some of the facilities, and as you go around, hopefully you'll get some pictures of that. We have these SIMS units that are amazing. They're simulation mannequins, and they are so lifelike that they need to do less clinical time with real bodies because they have almost everything that a real body can do. They're computer controlled. So the nurses are very excited about being here and having this kind of expertise and training on site, to the point where some of the Fall River students will be coming here also to have the same equal opportunity of training. But New Bedford as a whole has really embraced it, and they're very excited about having nursing here.
Now, up until the growth of nursing here, I heard President Sprague say it quite often that there were 1,000 applicants for nursing and there were only 75 slots. How many slots are additional here at eHealth?
Yes, it has not just taken, given us less. It's given us 24 more spots.
Great.
And we're also going to have another new cohort next September. So we'll have 48 students here.
So that'll be part of, it's the same sort of nursing program that is at the Fall River campus, is that correct?
It's absolutely the same.
But it's got the technology advances that, as you mentioned, some of those nurses in Fall River will be able to take advantage of as well.
And there is the e-learning piece too. They can spend less time in the classroom. Right. They can do that piece at home. But of course, because of the nursing arts and the need to be hands-on, there's still a great deal of time here.
Let's talk a little bit about the other programs. I guess let's start with the degree programs. How has the enrollment been for general studies, health sciences, and occupational therapy?
General studies is a great attraction for
Right.
someone who, like our member here, are hoping to be in nursing or OTA,
Right.
or also just undecided. They want to get a general studies and healthcare background, and then they can make other choices. So it's a great segue, or it can be an end in itself. If that's what they're only looking for that. But we offer many possibilities as electives, like taking phlebotomy or taking EMT, so they can gather some job, skills even as they're taking general studies. So that has grown as well, and especially because of the nursing now being here and some of the other programs. OTA has 4 cohorts now. So we have the entire day program came here from Fall River.
Right.
Because the facilities were so great again and appealing, and it was easier for them to have all of their people in one place. And they're going through accreditation, so it's been a very exciting time for them.
Let me talk to Sherry for a few moments. We talk about general studies. Let me just first ask you, Sherry, how did you find out about the program here, and what interested you about coming to the e-health program? Obviously, you live in New Bedford, so
Right.
that must have been a big plus.
Yes. Well, one, convenience, where it's, like it's locally right here, literally 5 minutes away from where I live. I was impressed with the building. I had come to the open house and was generally, just impressed, and the way they offer the classes too, especially around our busy work schedule. You can basically pick and choose, and with the hybrid situation, you can turn around and, with a hybrid, for instance, you meet like for a certain portion of time in class, and you do the rest of your studies at home, in the convenience of your own time schedule.
What was your interest in health sciences, health studies?
Nursing.
Nursing.
So I wanted to turn around, instead of just applying directly into the nursing program, I wanted to get all the prereqs out of the way first. So when I do apply and hopefully get accepted into the program, keeping my fingers crossed, I'll just have the general nursing, the four nursing courses to
Right.
take, and then I'll be all done.
Right. What is you talked a little bit about it, but what's your experience been like in this building and working with the staff and the people here at BCC?
It's been great. I was asked by Debbie last year to help tutor some of the students here. They were looking for some tutors down here and
Right.
need help. She had sent me an email, and I had contacted her. We met, and I actually enjoy being able to share my knowledge and my learning experiences with the other students, as far as if they are, particularly stuck or having a hard time with one particular subject. So.
Now, what was your educational and professional background before you came to BCC?
Well, I've been in the medical profession for 27 years.
Oh, good.
Working in the healthcare profession for 27 years. So I've always, ever since I was a child, always wanted to stick with, healthcare, medical. Always wanted to be a nurse.
So you're one of those, we talk about it all the time on this program and elsewhere, you're a non-traditional student, you're not coming out of high school to come in this situation. So you must have seen the technology advances throughout the years. How is e-health helping you become a better health professional with the technologies they have here? From what you've seen so far.
Well, yeah, I was going to say from what I've seen, because I really haven't been
Right.
much with the, the new technology, but I did get, a tour of the new nursing facility, and it reminds me of just the hospitals that I've worked at.
Yeah.
It's just phenomenal, and how, like Karen was explaining, the simulators and all that, and how the actual patients in, the beds upstairs and everything, what they actually produce, symptoms and stuff, so that way as you're learning, you would you turn around and would go and take care of that patient according to as if you were out in a real hospital. So it gives you basic, instead of being thrown into the hospital scene right at the beginning, it gives you that prep start first.
Right. Karen, we talked about the degree programs, but
Right.
By my count, looks like there's 10 non-degree programs. And that also is a good supplement to the healthcare industry, all these related services. So talk a little bit about some of those, and again, the popularity and how well it's been received here.
Well, one of our new programs is Farm Tech, and that's just been great because we've actually redesigned a very great facsimile of a pharmacy, right down to the label producing machine, the computers, again, the skills that people need so that then when they get into a clinical setting, they are ready to operate. And we're also providing clinical settings for our Farm Tech students in the pharmacies. So we've developed some relationships in the communities, so when they leave, they really will be able to work within a pharmacy setting. We had before phlebotomy, but now we've created a whole room with a draw room, and again, all of the eye wash, and all the things that you would really need in a real setting, so that they can also do the tests on the blood. They're just thrilled. I mean, they just can't believe their new space, and again, the better training because of it. We've also gotten together with some South Coast hospitals for one, and we've got a new relationship where we're training some students at St. Luke's Hospital in Central Sterile in their OR. So even though we have some great facilities here, we didn't really prepare to build an OR. So to go to their operating room and actually use the instrumentation and learn to sterilize in a facility is just tremendous for us. And we've gotten a great relationship with South Coast, who have identified certain things that they need in the field and retirement age of some of their personnel, so that we can kind of scout out what's good for us to train our students, that there'll be a job at the end of the day.
Yeah, that was an important announcement that was held, I believe, late this summer, about the relationship with South Coast hospitals to get the students, and there have always been a number of opportunities for the healthcare students at BCC to get the practical experience, but with this cooperation, it would dovetail very well into some of these programs.
Definitely, and we're looking to add Surge Tech to that roster as of next September. So that's another piece that would be a South Coast relationship as well.
Talk a little bit more about how the community of New Bedford has embraced this program. There's a new mayor of New Bedford that took over this year. Mayor Lang, the previous mayor, was instrumental in getting this off the ground. But how's the buy-in been with the community and having BCC and this e-health program become part of the community?
The new mayor, as well as obviously Mayor Lang, have been very pro-education, and the new mayor especially. I've heard 3 of his speeches, and they've all been pro-education. He has actually come to a WIB meeting that we have here, which is a workforce training kind of meeting to get people in healthcare set up to respond to the needs and to have grants flow through that process. And he, basically said, what I'm talking about is already happening between BCC and South Coast, and this is exactly the kinds of things that he wants to see happen further in his community. So that's been very helpful. They have been very helpful with even construction, trying to get permits through and have things go through seamlessly. Their support is great because we have short windows in which we can build new layers, and that's been very helpful as well. And I think we've changed the flavor of the New Bedford community. I understand that when we started here as BCC campus 10 years ago, you couldn't get a cup of coffee. Right. And now there's just been, so many restaurants opening, and the arts have grown. And so we've been working with AHA nights as well, so that we can be part of the kinds of things that community has. This room is used oftentimes for last week for a mayor's meeting, so that people have started to see us as using our space as well to grow and to be part of the community. And we totally embrace that because we know that we're helping their community grow in skills, but we want to be part of that community.
Right. What's next for eHealth?
Well, I think some of the things I'm looking at now, and we have something going on right now on Martha's Vineyard, is to maybe bring some of our programs on site. Because it's hard to catch the ferry, and so we're working on getting our CNA program to be taught partly here, but also to send someone to work in their healthcare facility there. So I think that that's another way we can help the community, that if you have, 10 or more employees and your site is a good learning facility, there's no reason we can't bring some of our skills right to your people. Right. So I think those are kind of some openings that we're looking at. And the field is always changing, the technology. One of the pieces too we're adding is customer service. For a long time, you were just kind of a person in the bed. And we realized that has become, if you go into any of the hospitals in Boston and Providence and, even here, they have started to concentrate on not just giving you some attention, but also to customer serve. And so we're adding a lot of those pieces to some of the teaching that we're doing with our students.
If you want more information about the eHealth program here in New Bedford, you can go to the BCC website and just do a search for eHealth, and we have the URL at the bottom of the screen. So please check out all the great things that are happening here at eHealth in New Bedford. Karen and Sherry, I appreciate your time. All the best. Good luck in getting into nursing. You'll do well, I'm sure. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for giving us the time.
Thank you.
We'll have more of Around BCC right after this. Welcome back. We're pleased to be joined by a new member of our crew, student correspondent Zach Karen, who this month takes a look at the new student government leadership here at BCC.
It's a new academic year for the BCC Student Senate, and there are some new faces among the student officers. Jason Sadie and Aaron Martell are classmates from Dartmouth and got interested in the Senate through Jason's brother, who once served on the board. After their election, Jason was selected as the vice president, while Aaron was tabbed to be secretary. They see the role of the Senate as a vehicle to promote worthwhile activities while helping students cope with life at BCC.
Yeah, I want to raise awareness for the Senate. Right now we're making a walk for muscle dystrophy. We want to raise money for organizations, and we want to get a little more school unity.
Yeah, we're also doing a scavenger hunt for new students, just to get the students to know the campus a little bit more, get the building, get the Senate name out there, just because a lot of students don't really know that the Senate is there. So it's we're there for the students, a lot of students don't know.
Jason and Aaron are among several new members elected to the BCC Student Senate this year. I'm Zach Karen, back to you, Keith.
Thanks, Zach. We are already 1 month into the new college basketball season, and the men's and ladies' Bees are striving for success. 2012 marks the 5th season of the revitalized men's and women's basketball program. On the men's side, Coach Rob Delalou's 2011 freshman-laden team has 7 players back this year, including 3 starters. He continues to push for excellence from his club, and that's resulted in earning the respect of the rest of the teams in the league.
It's evolved to a point where every year, the rest of the league understands that we're going to be competitive. To the point where a lot of coaches are, coming scouting our games. We've evolved to a point where a lot of the schools in the area know that we are a college program, whereas before a lot of the local area high schools may not have known that we did have a program. So we're establishing that rapport. Still building. Going into year number 5, we're still in the premature phases. We're still very, young as far as things that we do within our school, with administration and understanding sports program. But we're building.
Last year's Lady Bees were hampered by a limited roster, but this year, second-year head coach Jenny Ozug has 9 players to utilize, including 3 returners. The team has had some early season success, gaining 2 wins in the first few weeks of the season. Ozug hopes that will carry the club through the end of the year.
It definitely helps to have a win under our belt, nice and early too. Hopefully that sends a message to some of the other teams that we're not going to be a pushover team like we've been in the past. I don't want to be that anymore. So I'm hoping that sends a little message, and it boosts my morale knowing that what I'm teaching and what I'm trying to do here is starting to work slowly. It's taken me 2 years, but it's starting to work. The girls I have this year are relentless. They don't quit. Even when times are hard, we're losing, they don't quit. They're always pushing, so that makes me feel confident going into the games, especially some of the harder games coming up.
The BCC basketball squads play their home games at Bishop Connolly High School, and both teams are home during the early part of this month. Check out the BCC website for game information, and if you can, come by and support the teams. Even though the economy is showing slow signs of improving, there are still many people looking for work. Many of them have made the decision to stop looking for a job and go into business for themselves. Well, the BCC Academic Center for Entrepreneurship can help those with a business idea turn them into a reality. For over 5 years, the BCC Academic Center for Entrepreneurship has been a resource for people who think they have an idea for a small business, but need help getting off the ground. Director Jeannie Gerard says anywhere from 3 to 5 people a week seek free advice from the office on whether they should take the leap to becoming their own boss.
We have something for anyone at any stage in their career exploration, or if they're really looking to start their business, or if they're looking to get a degree. So we have our certificate programs, we have our associate's degree programs, but then we have our mentoring. And mentoring is just a casual conversation about what is it that you're looking to do and what is it you're trying to accomplish and at what point are you at. And a lot of times it is just that exploration phase. So it's just a nice casual conversation about what can we do to get you to that point where you can start a viable, strong business. We don't want to just start people in getting into their business if it's not going to be viable and feasible for them and match their personal and professional goals. So then we have, then from that point, that casual conversation, we have different programs that we can channel them into.
At a recent entrepreneur fair at the Fall River campus, BCC graduate Gina Perry showed off her wares as owner of the customized bakery, The Sweet Shop, located in Barrington, Rhode Island. She said her training at BCC helped her make the decision that owning her own business was the right career path.
My husband is a contractor and has been running his own business for 15 years now, and so I knew what it was going to take to kind of be your own boss and be disciplined in that way. But it definitely is a little more work than I anticipated. I also have 2 young children. They have been wonderful. So the adjustment has been a little rough in the start, but now we've all kind of gotten used to it, and we use time management skills to kind of work ourselves, get some free time for ourselves on the weekends or during the week. But all in all, it's been a lot of work, but very rewarding. I enjoy, owning the shop and being able to put stuff out and, work with people. It's been a lot of fun.
The Academic Center for Entrepreneurship is available for consultation free of charge. Get started by contacting the office at 508-678-2811, extension 2695. For our profile segment this month, we talked to a BCC biology faculty member who has a past in promoting a sustainable environment and now lends his expertise to those who can shape it going forward.
Hi, I'm Jim Corven. I'm professor of biology at BCC. I grew up in northeastern Michigan, and I grew up in a rural area, so I was always outside, and I guess because there were a lot of frog ponds and a lot of forests around, I just naturally got interested in collecting and seeing what was around me, and that led me into biology. I was always interested in science, but I had a biology teacher when I was in high school, and he really stimulated a lot of interest in me, and I think he scared a lot of students, but I really found him fascinating, and I found the field, and it was from then on I knew it was biology. When I graduated from high school, I went to the local community college in northeastern Michigan. I finished there in 2 years with an associate in science, and I transferred to University of Michigan in Ann Arbor and finished my bachelor's degree there. And just about the time I finished my bachelor's degree, it was 1968, and that's when the draft became universal. And so I was drafted into the military and was in the military for 4 years. And after I came back from the Navy, I went back to graduate school. And I went to graduate school at Central Michigan University for a master's degree. And then I transferred to Michigan State University for a doctorate degree. When I finished at Michigan State and got my doctorate, I joined the Peace Corps. And I went to Central America in the Peace Corps, and I served in Nicaragua until we were evacuated, and then I transferred to Honduras. So I was in Peace Corps for 2 countries and came back and got involved. I really enjoyed Central America. I enjoyed Latin America, and so I got involved with a number of non-governmental organizations in development, and I've spent about 25 years in Central America since then, working in developmental projects, mostly field research and training, extension work, natural resource conservation in Belize, Nicaragua, Honduras, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Panama, and St. Lucia in the Caribbean, and mostly doing field work. I went into teaching starting as an adjunct at UMass Dartmouth, and I taught there for a couple of years, and then I accepted an invitation to go to University of the Virgin Islands in St. Thomas, and I taught there for 2 years full-time as a associate professor of biology there. And after my 2 years were up there, I started applying, and this is in my area, and I always wanted to teach at a community college. I enjoy the focus on teaching and education. And I had done research for 25 some years, and I thought I wanted to focus on a different aspect of academia. And so I applied here, and I was lucky enough to get selected 6 years ago. Right now I'm teaching Fundamentals of Biology, which is a 2-semester sequence for biology and science majors. I teach a plant science course, Science and Care of Plants. It's a course that's for non-majors and for people in the organic agriculture program. And I teach the organic farming, organic agriculture program, which is a sustainable agriculture program. We've recently are close to having approved a 2-year degree in sustainable agriculture at BCC that should be available also for students. Sustainability is a concept and a requirement that we really need to pay attention to. It really applies to everything we do, no matter what profession we're in. And it's a very fundamental thing that means we need to pay attention to what we're doing to our environment and our economy and our society. And all of those things need to be built into everything we do. I found it compelling because of my agricultural background in rural Michigan, and I've been in organic agriculture and did a lot of agriculture in Central America and saw that conventional agriculture isn't what it's going to be in the future. It's changing dramatically. The future of farming in this country, the future of environmental conservation is changing dramatically because of what we've already done and what the future is going to require we do. Part of the sustainability initiative that we have here at school is that the students were interested in pursuing things a little bit beyond just taking the classes. And they formed an organization. It's a student club, Seeds of Sustainability, it's also SOS. And they have taken on a number of initiatives. The most visible one they have is they have a weekly seminar or workshop on campus to give practical information to people who want to learn how to live more sustainably. And so they've had, some are agriculture, some are in housekeeping, some are in personal care, some are in health and nutrition, and they're all been given by people who specialize in those areas, who have experience in those areas, and the participation and excitement about those workshops has been growing now for 2 semesters. This is a great school to teach at. It's really nice, and the longer I'm here, the better it seems to get. The faculty here to work with are terrific. The staff that we have that support the faculty are terrific. The resources here are very good. There's a lot of flexibility. We have great freedom in developing new courses. We've been able to develop this whole sustainable agriculture initiative, form new student groups. Anybody who has an initiative, who has a good idea, can do it here. They can get things started. It takes a lot of work and a lot of patience sometimes, but it works. And it's just a really terrific place to work.
That's all for Around BCC this month. We leave you with a look at the latest exhibit at the Grimshaw Goodowitz Art Gallery, featuring photographs by Ron Barboza, spotlighting Aristides Pereira and images of Cape Verde. I'm Keith Tebow. Happy holidays. We'll see you in 2013.